Hi, and welcome to Make It Monday with Cindy Fodor and StampTheLove.blogspot.com. Today I am bringing you a look at something that another demonstrator and a lady from Stampin' Up! Had designed. It's called Double Wonder Cards, and I'm just going to show you the pattern that I have, and I will try to post this under the file section here on our page, so that you can do this at home. I'm going to run through really quickly what you need and how it works, and that way hopefully it'll be a little easier for you to follow the directions once you get that. First I'm going to show you what I did with it, and I used the paper from Sailing Home, and hopefully you can see most of them here. So you get four different designs going this direction with 3 pieces here, and I know you can't see all of those at one time, but I'm gonna scoot through here. And then in the center I have 4 going this direction. You have a little flap folded back on the front, and then you have your 2 strips here. So I just added, you just pick out whatever ribbon or cording will go with the paper that you have, and that actually is supposed to be sticking down there. Okay, and then you end up with 2 of these with 2 larger pieces here and 1 strip here. So you're not wasting anything on your piece of designer paper. And then this is basically the scrap one. These 4 little scraps were the end pieces, and that's what I put together to do that card. Now I'm going to show you what the gal I got it from. She used the Magnolia Lane paper, and these are the cards that she did, and this is the paper I'm going to show you today. I'm going to show you how to cut it. So the other things that you need before I start are going to be a label punch, because you'll have to add some for label. My light is a little bright on that. I'm using the, I think it's called Everyday Label Punch. And I'm using this set. This is in the mini catalog, the Peaceful Moment stamp set. And it is, it just fits really well in this punch. Has a lot of different sayings, so I was able to make quite a few different cards for different occasions, so that worked really well with that. And then of course you'll need an ink to coordinate with whatever paper you're using. So I'm going to just sit those out of the way there, because I'm not going to actually put them together. I'm just going to basically show you how to cut this, and then I will post the patterns for you to put them together. Okay? Let me set that aside, and I'd like to try to put this in the screen just so that I can refer to it. So here's my cutter, and let me find my paper. So what you need is, you actually need 2 sheets of paper that are going to coordinate with each other, and that all the sides are going to coordinate. So that we have a lot of paper that has colors that on another side that may not coordinate. So you have to look at your paper. When I looked at my Sailing Home paper, I looked for the sheets that I thought would go well together, because you're going to be mixing and matching these pieces on each card. The next thing, unfortunately I already started cutting this one, so I do have those pieces here already. So I will show you how to cut the other piece. But so what I have is 2 6x12 pieces. The nice thing is the other half of each of those you can make into another set of 11 cards. So what we're doing here with these 2 pieces of 6x12 will make 11 cards, and then the other half of those you can do as well if you'd like to. So what I did was I started here. If you can see on the left hand side, we need a 3.5 inch wide piece. So I'm going to start cutting that. Put that at 3.5 and cut that. And I'm going, I felt like it was easier to, sorry, my cord is shaking a little bit. I thought it was easier to go ahead and just finish that whole section before I went on to the next one. So I'm going to turn it sideways, and this piece, these two pieces are 2 1/4 inches wide. So two and a half. It is 2 1/4. I screwed up already. Measure twice, cut once. So 2 1/4. Well, that definitely does not work there. Okay. And 2 1/4. Okay, so I have those two pieces, and then this piece right here that's left over, you would cut this in half for that last card that I told you about that goes here. Unfortunately, mine's too small because I screwed up. But that's okay, because that was sort of a bonus piece anyways. All right, I'm going to lay those two pieces aside. And then I'm going to bring my piece back in here, and I'm going to cut this piece. So I have a 4-inch piece. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to cut strips here. But first I need to cut this strip off. As you can see, I have to cut this piece off before I can cut these strips out. So let me get this out of the way. And I'm going to cut this 3/4 inch piece off first. And in my cutter, I like to keep my biggest piece over here. This is your tip today. So I like to use the side, let me get this in here so you can see it. Over here we have measurements that are off to the right of the cutting strip. And so I'll come over here and I'll take it to 3/4. That way I can have this against the straight edge as much as possible, and I will have a much straighter piece if I do that. Also, on this new cutter, if you notice, it locks in, and I actually have to come up here and grab that and lift it so that it unlocks, which is, the lock is a nice mechanism so that when you're carrying it, it's not going to flop open for you. But it doesn't come open really well if you grab a hold of this tab. It works okay, but I find it's better to come up here and grab and lift it. So that's what I've started to do. All right, so I have my strip off the bottom. Now I'm ready to cut this piece in strips, and each strip is 1 inch. So once again, I'll come in here. I'm going to use my side edge here and measure 1, 1, and 1. Okay, we've got those two sections done. I like to leave those pieces together so that I know what I have finished. All right, so our last section is here. We have 6 pieces, 3 inches by 4. What I have left here is 4 1/2. So each of these strips is 1 1/2 by 3. So I'm just going to come over. I'm going to go ahead and cut this at 3. And then I think I can cut 2 at a time here. And then 1 1/2. And 1 1/2. Okay, we're almost done. And then the fun starts. Once that's done, that's the hardest part. Then you just start putting them together. Okay, so now we have all of these pieces finished. The next thing that you'll do is grab some cardstock that coordinates. So I just took the paper over to my cardstock and I said, what's going to coordinate with this? So I chose Sahara Sand, Petal Pink, and Mossy Meadow. And that's what I'm going to be layering my pieces on. So let me just show you here. Oh, let me show you one more thing. I'm sorry. I want to show you these strip cards because you also need to score your cardstock. And I'm just going to remind you that the cutter has a scoring tool on it as well. And the directions for this are right here. And it says that you need to score 1 1/4 inches from the side of your card. So I'm going to stick this in. I'm going to put this to 1 1/4, and I'm going to use the lighter tool, which is the scoring tool. And you have to go over that a couple times. I'm also going to just scoot it over and go ahead and score my center fold. That way that's ready to go. So now I'm ready to fold this and just fold this back. And then your strips are going to just lay, oops, that's not the right one, in here like this and like that. Okay? So that's pretty simple, and then your tag will go right here. These are really quick and easy to put together. If you're needing cards right now to send to friends and loved ones and encourage people, I encourage you to grab some of your paper. I guarantee if you're a crafter, you're hoarding designer paper. And if you're using 6x6, I will just tell you that you will need you'll need 2 sets of 6x6 for here, 2 for here, and 2 for here, because this is 6 inches long and you can only get one of these sections out of each piece. So you will lose a little more paper if it's 6x6. This is definitely made for a 12x12 design. Okay, I think that's all I have to share with you today. I do want to remind you that I have a Stamps in the Mail Club going out. If you haven't read that, it's on the Facebook page, it's on my blog, and it features the My Meadow stamp set. Really, really fun stamp set. And you get cards when you purchase the stamp set and a couple of additional supplies. You get the cards for free, the packet of cards so that you can make them. So that's all I have. My blog spot is here so that you can check that out if you'd like to place an order. I'm just stampincindy.stampinup.net. Very easy to find. And I hope you have a wonderful day. God bless.